Hey guys, King of Charmanders here, and today I bring to you my video on 600 plus Mizutsune slain, 10.5 KUSHALA bow maxed out, and my Dark Daydreams paid ticket event results. This video covers my Summer Hunt 2004 Dark Daydreams paid ticket event. I managed to get the Mizutsune Silver Medal and slay over 400 plus 8-star Mizutsune. I will also go over the review of my progression as I got better and used only 32 potions / first aid meds the entire event. So I slowly got better and used less potions throughout the entire event. First, we're going to start out with my loadout and build strategy. So the weapon I was going to use for this event was the Zinogre light bowgun at grade 10.5. So mine is maxed out and all my armor is at grade 8.2, ensuring I have the maximum defense just in case I do get hit by a Mizutsune attack. This build maxes out Thunder Attack level 5 with 1 Thunder Attack Driftstone. So I have several Driftstones on this build. Actually, all of my slots are full. One of them's Thunder Attack and the rest are kind of just nice to have. Recoil down level 3 and reload speed level 3 for max light bowgun DPS. Of course, you have to have the standard recoil down level 3 and reload speed level 3 if you're going to maximize your damage against especially this slingy Leviathan fish thingy. In addition, I had attack boost and water exploit were the best drift smelt skills I had. So I had those two and they were the best one I had. Others I had were defense boost, which allowed me to survive one attack from 8-star Mizutsune if I made a mistake. Without it, I would be near the red, but with defense boost, I would be able to clearly survive one attack at full HP or near full HP depending on what it was. In addition, I just had aggressive dodger, which paired well with artful dodger and allowed me to break the head early sometimes. However, this wasn't done on purpose, as aggressive dodger was just the most optimal drift smelt skill I had. I didn't want the AD, I didn't want it. It paired well with artful dodger, but at the same time, again, I didn't really want it. It was just something I got, and I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna pop it in my Sisiaku helm, and then just leave it in here and see how it does, and it actually did pretty well for me throughout this entire event. Moving on, here's my first impression of the event. The ticket animation at the beginning event was super cool. I really liked how much effort they put into it. So you could tell they worked on it a lot. You saw right there, pretty little fash, the animations, etc. They didn't have to do all that. They could have just slapped a picture in front of us and been like, hey, the event started. But nah, they actually did this, and that allowed us to have these crazy Mizutsune spawns, which I thought were much better than I thought. If you look around, I was like, wow, I see a 7-star, I see a 6-star, they were everywhere. So I was like really impressed about those boosted spawns. And Nightshade Palumu felt boosted as well. I thought Nightshade wouldn't be that great. I thought they would have like spot spawns throughout the biomes. But no, they were boosted just as much, or if not, just a little less than Mizutsune. And the purple circle color was so cool. It was so clutch having that 50% range increase. When I was driving around, there are angles that I can do because of that 50% increase. And I was like, wow, I can reach stuff a whole lot easier. I can reach that thing on the other side of this house. I can reach this on the other side of the road. You see that monster spawned at that stoplight? I can get on the stoplight, click on the monster, go across that stoplight, pull over, and then take out said monster safely. Having that the entire time was super awesome. And after seeing the start of the event, etc., here was my hunting strategy for the Dark Daydreams event day 1. After 2 minutes of making a game plan, here was my strat. Number 1, go after 8-star Mizutsune as much as possible. Only do anything lower than 8-star if it's on the way or in the same area as the 8-star Mizutsune. The hardest part of hunting Mizu was getting the 27 Rarity 6 Mizutsune plates, so slay as many as possible. This was going to be the hardest part. The Rarity 6. The rates were terrible. Well, expected to be this hard, and honestly, for my opinion, because of the Zinogre event, and I hunted 200 plus 8 stars during that event, and I only got 2 Rarity 6 drops. So I already predicted that this was going to be absolutely terribly difficult for you to get the maximum Rarity 6 plates you need for Mizutsune, at least from the wild. So skip all the fluff. Go straight after 8-star Mizutsune, and again, if any other Mizutsune are along the way, I would take those out as well. Step 2, hunt around 200 Nightshade Palumu to have enough materials for the Nightshade Palumu mail and the Greaves. Only go after 7-star below as much as possible. Nightshade gear uses Wyvern Gem Shards, so because it uses WGS, there was no absolute reason for me to go after anything higher. I still went after like a few like 8 star and 9 star Nightshade Palumu just to try them out and see how hard they were going to be. They weren't that difficult. So I was like, you know, okay, just go after 7 stars and below. That's going to get all the materials I need because, again, Nightshade gear uses Wyvern Gem Shards. And step 3. Do enough Elder Dragon interceptions to get the final Rarity 6 drop needed for my great 10.5 KUSHALA bow. I had 47 horns, so all I needed was 1 more to max out. And step number 3. Do enough Elder Dragon interceptions to get the final Rarity 6 drop needed for my great 10.5 KUSHALA bow. I had 47 horns, so all I needed was 1 more to max it out. 1 more. And this was absolutely painful because it took like 8, I think it was 8 on the first day to like get that 1 Rarity 6 drop. I was getting super trolled. In comparison to one of my Discord mods, Young, who got it in like 150, it took me over 200 KUSHALA. So I was like, wow, dude, can you just drop it, please? I just need 1 more to get it. Luckily, I got it. But again, it took 8 of them during this event to actually get 1 Rarity 6 horn. Compared to all the other times where I'm like, you know what, it's taken probably like 4 or 5 and I got 1 if I was lucky. I was not lucky for this final Rarity 6 Daora horn. However, we also had to consider the X factors for day 1. So what I mean by X factors, things you're not going to expect, etc., or things that you have to analyze as you play the event and consider throughout the event and for the next day. Analyzing the biomes and trying to predict what the biome change would be like later in the evening. So biomes changed for me at 5 p.m. So this greatness or this really bad environment of biomes wasn't going to be here forever. In addition, not having enough experience taking down 8-star Mizutsune. Even though I had 100 plus slain before the event, I was still trying to figure out the most optimal strategy to take down Mizu as fast as possible to maximize efficiency. I'm trying to roast as many 8-star Mizutsune as fast as I possibly can to hopefully get those Rarity 6 drops. So, I needed more experience. Even though I already had 100 kills, you always want to improve something until you have something down to a science, and it literally takes you hundreds of battles before you have to use another potion, which was my goal. And of course, figuring out the most optimal route to locate and slay as many 8-star Mizutsune as possible. This brings me to the biomes point. You have to make sure that you figure out the most optimal route so that you save time and you're able to kill as many Mizutsune or whatever target monster you're looking for as fast and as efficient as possible. And after all that madness, here was my Dark Daydreams Event Day 1 results. I did 11.5 hours of grinding, or 11 hours and 30 minutes of grinding. 8 Elder Dragon interceptions, which allowed me to obtain all materials needed to max my great 10.5 KUSHALA Daora bow. I just needed 1, but it took 8 of them, which was pretty ridiculous. In addition, I had 255 Mizutsune slain and 156 Nightshade Palumu slain. And luckily, I got 4 Rarity 6 Mizutsune plate drops, and I doubled all of them. Of course I have to when it was this difficult. I used 22 potions / first aid meds, and I was halfway to a great 10.5 max Mizutsune weapon. It takes 27 Rarity 6 Mizutsune plates, I only had 13, so I was halfway there. And I covered 66 miles, so drove 66 miles and 66 miles of trailing destruction, and bodies of Mizutsune and Palumu were everywhere. Overall, it was a really solid day. My goal for day 2 was to do even more Mizutsune and use less potions. So kill more Mizutsune and get as much Mizutsune as possible, but also, again, use less potions. And after one night's sleep later, here was day 2, and this was my hunting strategy for the Dark Daydreams event, day 2. After 12 hours of hunting, I had a much better strategy this time around. Step 1, go after 8-star Mizutsune as much as possible. That hasn't changed. Utilize new strategy to take out 8-star Mizu faster and use less potions. So I thought about it and I was like, while I was having dinner, I was like, how can I make this better? How can I perform better? Because every time you kill hundreds of a monster and you want to use less potions, you gotta clutch up and you gotta play better. Number 2, casually hunt Nightshade Palumu, ignore 8-star Nightshade. So I was still gonna casually hunt them. I got more than enough Nightshade Palumu hunted already, so I was like, just gonna casually do them. They're along the way, I would take them out along with the Mizutsune that were along the way on route to 8-star Mizutsune hunts. And step 3, stick to short routes and use the 30-minute reset to my advantage. So this time around, you're going to see in my results, I killed a whole lot more Mizutsune, but this is because I stuck to short routes again. So I used a much more efficient way versus the time before where I would take some long routes to go to a new area. We ain't doing that anymore. I learned, and it was time to use these new acquired skills so I could kill more Mizutsune. And that leads us to the easy Mizutsune evolved hunting strategy from day 1 to day 2. So during day 1, I would attack Mizutsune without targeting the head. I would use my special skills during the spinning water breath attack, but it didn't always finish Mizutsune off if I missed a weak spot. It was completely there to avoid damage, and again, if I didn't finish off Mizutsune, it kinda sucked. So I remade my strategy to focus on Mizutsune's head. After breaking the head, you stop the entire Roar Water Breath combo, and I was able to consistently break it for hundreds of 8-star Mizutsune battles afterward. This new strategy allowed me to take out Mizutsune in 24 to 40 seconds for most 8-star hunts and save me a ton of potions / first aid meds. I would go for hours without getting hit or using healing items. This definitely was absolutely incredible that I was able to pull this off, and I was like, wow. For a lot of the time, I didn't have to use potions again and first aid meds because of how much I improved after switching up my strategy. So about 30 minutes of strategizing during dinner and having a lot of food is all I needed to figure out this incredible strat. And again, it definitely saved me and allowed me to meet my goal of using less healing items for day 2. However, day 2 also had X factors, things you have to consider, and my biomes were amazing. This allowed me minimal movement between areas I drove around, allowing me to slay a ton of Mizutsune. Thankfully, the biomes were amazing, because you never know. After the biome switches, you're like, was it good? Was it bad? Luckily, this time around, it was good. I didn't have to do any Elder Dragon interceptions this time around, so that allowed me to focus on Mizutsune even more. Finally had all the materials I needed for my great 10.5 KUSHALA bow, so no need to waste time on Elder Dragon interceptions. Just go after those 8-star Mizus. Unfortunately, the desperation for Rarity 6 drops, I was getting legitimately a little angry because I went 5 hours without a single Rarity 6 Mizutsune plate drop. At this point for day 2, I've slain probably 200 plus 8-star Mizutsune. So 200 plus 8-star Mizutsune in those 5 hours and not a single Rarity 6 drop. Luckily, the drought finally ended, as I got some Rarity 6 Mizutsune plate drops on day 2. After 5 hours of not getting any Rarity 6 Mizutsune plates, it finally started picking up. As you see on the picture right now for my day 1 ult strat, I'm really glad I had that picture because I actually looked at that picture and I was like, it will happen. I just need to keep killing them, keep hunting them. And it did. As you see right here, I started at 8 AM today, so 1:16 PM, the first drop you see on the very far left was my first Rarity 6 Mizutsune drop on day 2. That means, again, over 5 hours without a Rarity 6 drop. Luckily, throughout the day, I managed more Rarity 6 Mizutsune plates that were spread out throughout the rest of the day. So, 316, 615, so every like 2-3 hours, I would get really lucky. From 615 to 657, you see within that hour, within an hour's limit, I was able to get 2 plate drops, so that was really nice. Unfortunately, I didn't end up getting any Rarity 6s for a long period after the last one at 7:10 PM. So after 7:10 PM, I think I hunted till like 10 o'clock, so 3 more hours after that, I didn't see a single Rarity 6, but I'm glad I saw this many, especially after a 5-hour drought. And after all that madness, day 2 is finally over. This is the Dark Daydreams event, day 2 results. 12 hours of grinding, 401 Mizutsune slain, 75 Nightshade Palumu slain, 5 Rarity 6 Mizutsune plate drops, which I doubled after literally getting hours of droughts, so it really did pick up this day. 10 potions / first aid meds used, so reached my goal of using less potions. Close to a great 10.5 max Mizutsune weapon. 92 miles covered, and again, I did way better than day 1 thanks to the experience. I also used a lot less potions this time around and met my goal. That was a big one for me. That's the reason why I'm saying it so much, because 10 potions for killing all these monsters was a huge accomplishment for me. Because That really showed that I'm really good at adapting. Well, I did that with Pokemon Go. You have to do it on fly with PvP especially. And of course, as a former MMA/grappler/jiu-jitsu fighter, etc., adapting on the fly, you gotta do it. But this is adapting in 24 hours in a brand new game and hoping that your biomes were really good. So it worked out for me this time. And when you put day 2 and day 1 together, you have my Dark Daydreams event total results. 23.5 hours of grinding, the most I've done in 2 days. 656 Mizutsune slain, includes getting the gold medal like you see right here. Not the gold medal, the silver medal. 231 Nightshade Palumu slain, went over 200, got plenty of the materials I needed to get all the armor to grade 8, and get pretty far for the weapons. I don't know, I'm probably not going to invest into grade 10.5 Palumu, Nightshade Palumu weapons, but we'll see. 9 Rarity 6 Mizutsune plate drops, and those were doubled. You need 27 to get a max Mizutsune weapon, so this put me really far ahead along with the other 2 drops I got. Because you get 1 from the Mizutsune quest, I got 2 drops outside of this event so far. So I have 23, which means all I need is 2 more plates, or 2 more plate drops to max out my weapon. And 158 miles covered. So I did have to refuel on gas, but it was basically, no, I only had to refuel once because my car's really good on gas. So tanks like 300 miles to a gallon or more. So I only had to refuel once, which was nice. And after grinding super hard for this event, I made up my mind to go after the gold Mizutsune medal, which is 1000 slain. That's why I ooped on the silver gold medal Mizutsune, because that's where my mind was. I was like, you know what? I already killed 656 in one weekend. I'm really close to getting the gold medal. Why not go for it? In closing, this ticketed event was absolutely amazing. You got your money's worth and more from buying the ticket. No, seriously, you got a whole lot. That 50% range was so clutch. And I'm missing it so much because when I drive and grind now and I try to do those turns, I was like, man, it would be really nice if that was out. But it was super cool, and it's nice that they changed the color too. Like purple, one of my favorite colors as far as girls goes, because purple is mostly dominated as girl, but yeah. And I had the opportunity to get the ticket for free, but I didn't read my email. This is this email right here. Thank you, Mark, for the email. I'm so sorry I didn't read my email, but I totally could have got it for free because of my relationship with Niantic and being a Capcom creator, and yeah. Rest in peace. But yes, I will get it next time and look forward to future paid ticket events in the future. So, I hope you had a lot of fun. I hope you got a whole bunch of your drops, and you're definitely ready for the next one because I am. Please do me a huge favor. Like, subscribe, and comment for the YouTube algorithm. Good luck on your grinds. Again, hopefully y'all did really well this paid ticket event, and you got a whole lot of what you wanted and needed to build everything you need. Good luck on your grinds, and I will see y'all on the next video.